So last year, in the middle of the summer, this woman comes to me one day and says, I had the best wine I have ever had in my entire life. Can you get it for me? Now, I was working with several other people and didn't ask her why it was so incredible. I merely asked her, well, what's the name of the wine? Let me check. I'll see. I checked my app and said, sure, it'll be here in several days. She ordered a case. I wasn't there when she came by to pick it up, but a week after she had gotten it, she stopped by with an empty bottle and said that this was not the same wine. We checked the label and the vintage, and it was the right wine. At that point, I asked her to give me, the details of when she had originally tasted it. She described the tasting in minute detail. Now, while this didn't happen in a vineyard, this is an obscure example of what we might call vineyard bathing. To find out more about what this is, how frequently we taste things in our wines that really aren't there, stay tuned. Hey there, Posse, I'm Pierre, and welcome to Asti Wine Consultants. As we're learning more about wine together, in this episode we're going to look at why wines seem to taste different, even taste incredible, depending on when and where you taste them. Sometimes this occurs when you got some friends over for the evening, you're out for the night, with friends at a party, it might be a special occasion, or you're with that special someone creating a memorable or actually even a romantic evening. Also, for those of you who have tasted wines at a vineyard in different parts of the country or different parts of the world, you'll definitely be able to identify with all of this. Very simply speaking, this is called vineyard bathing. You'll find that some vineyards are unaware that this is occurring, while some vineyards do this intentionally to sell more wine. Keep in mind, at any time, if what I'm saying makes sense, click like, subscribe, and hit the little bell so you'll be notified when there's a new post. Also, make sure you share this with your friends. I'm sure they would appreciate it. Now let's go back to that summer day when that woman ordered the case of wine. If I hadn't been working with several other people at the time, I would have asked her more specifically why the wine was so good, so incredible. I was familiar with the wine, and to me, it was just okay. So when she came back disappointed, I did what I should have done initially. I should have asked her a few questions. In essence, I asked her a number of questions about where she had tasted the wine and who she was with. Some of the basic details about her experience. I wanted to understand all the factors that contributed to what made the wine so good. She talked about how her daughter was home from college and the two of them were spending a wonderful Saturday catching up with each other as they walked through a local open-air festival, art festival in June. We laughed about how that Saturday was an incredibly hot, sultry day. She said that she had purchased a glass of wine for each of them, and they sipped on them as they shared life together, strolling through the festival. They talked about what they liked and what they didn't like there, what her daughter had hoped for, what her daughter's hopes and dreams were at and beyond college, and both of their love lives. She said that they talked with each other in a way that they never had before, and the wine was so good and so refreshing. They both agreed that they both wanted more of it so they could remember the day. Now you may be asking yourself, what does this have to do with vineyard bathing? What the heck is vineyard bathing anyhow? Or some people call it forest bathing. Now keep in mind, this is most notably expressed or experienced in California. Need I say more? Forest or vineyard bathing and wine tasting is complementary practice where being in a vineyard, bathing in the vineyard enhances the wine, and the wine enhances the experience of the land. It's a full circle. Typically, a forest or vineyard bathing experience in a vineyard begins when a vineyard guide or a tasting room team member invites you to have a seat on the patio overlooking the vineyard, or you might go on a group tour or a self-guided tour through a designated area of the vineyard or winery. You experience all there is to take in. Now, in all likelihood, you'll find a space that resonates with you. After a tour or a set period of time, usually 10 or 15 minutes, or it could even be longer, then you'll be regathered at a designated spot like the tasting room or a specifically designated area to share what you've experienced. By the end, as you go through a wine tasting with someone from the vineyard or winery, they're asking you to share your feelings and thoughts about what you experienced. Frequently, when tasting that first sip after being bathed in the vineyard and or winery, you'll hear how people are surprised and comment how their sensations are more intense. Even people who have tried the wine before say being in the vineyard changed their complete perception of the wine. Vineyard bathing can have a profound effect on the wine. It opens the senses, your senses. You'll also find that it will have a profound impact on and encourage you to open your wallet. Participants take the time to really see the vineyard, smell it, hear its sounds, feel its textures, and maybe even pop a grape in their mouth. Those sensory experiences open the door to understanding terroir. Forest bathing is absolutely connected with terroir. How are you doing there? Has this ever happened to you or someone you went to a tasting with? If it has, write, "took a bath" in the comments below. Personally, I work very hard to guard myself when going to a tasting in the vineyard, no matter where in the world or where in the U.S. it is. The idea here is to learn to taste with your head and your tongue rather than your heart and your emotions. Actually, for more information about this, you might want to check out several of my videos. I think the one that would benefit you the most would be how to taste wine like a pro sommelier, the process. A good rule of thumb is don't load up while you're there. Absolutely try wines there. Buy a bottle of each wine that you absolutely love, and take those home with you or have them shipped home. But for the most part, I recommend you wait to try the wines a second time a few months later before buying in bulk. Now, whether in a vineyard or visiting an outdoor art fair, the setting, people you're with, your emotions, and physical state all have a bearing on what your wine will taste like. So when you're out tasting, keep in mind, sometimes the experience makes the wine. Well, there you have it. Everything you need to know about vineyard bathing, how to get the most out of your wine tasting. Folks, thanks so much for investing the time to watch this video. Until next time, cheers. Hey Posse, thanks so much for investing the time to watch this video. I trust it was helpful to you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And please consider hitting subscribe. Also, click here to check out our new online shop. We have a great lineup of wine-related items that will help you get the most out of your wine experience. Oh, and be sure to check out these other videos. Until next time, cheers.